at this. Woo! Man, this is for a long time that I actually felt comfortable using a street board and street wheels on these Utah roads. If you look at all my collection, my entire collection is just AT boards with pneumatic wheels. But this board actually makes me feel confident to go on the street. Feels really good. These stock tires are friggin' amazing. These are probably the best stock tires that I've ever had. Like, I'm not exaggerating. I think they could be selling these stock tires for retail, and I would buy this and put this on my other boards because they're so soft and they're so incredibly grippy too. So one of the first things I noticed is roads that I hated on going, they are a lot more enjoyable now. The wheels feel extremely good. They feel extremely grippy. They don't feel like they're gonna lose traction at any time. They feel incredibly soft and comfortable versus other street wheels, of course. And also the grip. Here in Utah, there's a lot of these patches, tar lines on the ground that breaks traction every time you go over or try to carve hard over it. These wheels just eat them up like they're nothing. For the first time in a very long time, I can actually carve over those things on street boards. You see on the ground, all these kind of black tar looking things. Unfortunately, where I live, the ground is littered with these type of things. How I can tell between good wheels and bad wheels is when I carve over these things. Bad wheels tend to lose traction, so I can only go straight on these type of roads on my street wheels. But this one, whenever it goes over these kind of uneven bumpiness, it stays firm. I definitely have a lot of grip. I feel the grip when I'm carving, even when I'm going over these kind of marks and bumps on the road, which gives me a lot of confidence when I'm carving. Look at this. Look at how shitty the road is and how just absolutely comfortable and confident I feel when it comes to grip. Okay, now no cars behind me. Let's do a speed test. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, that feels so good. I feel really confident on the street as well. Like, usually I just dread taking these type of street wheels in the middle of the road because they feel so crappy. And the wheels on this board, on the ELOFTY, make everything feel a lot smoother. Plus the amount of grip that I get. Definitely love that. Now I'm going to like the rougher patch of the road. Still feels really good. Still feel pretty good. And look at this way, the way that it carves in the middle of the street, how bumpy it is, and with all the patches, this thing just grips all day, dude. Grips all day and feels comfortable. I would say like you definitely don't need to upgrade your wheels at all with this thing. Absolutely love the combination of the trucks, how stable they are, how hard they can carve, to how soft the wheels feel, how grippy these wheels feel. I'm invincible on these wheels. For the first time in a very long time, I feel like I'm not going to break traction on street wheels, which is really good. And then you have this super long deck that is not a shortboard deck. This looks like a shortboard, but you can definitely have a longboard stance on it. And then you can have a neutral stance standing away from this flared up edge, or you can actually stand on it to give you unparalleled carving and control. I think when everyone look at it, they're like, oh, this is a shortboard, this is a shortboard deck. That's what I thought too. When I was looking at this board, I was like, oh, this is just another shortboard. After I stand on it, the stance is incredibly comfortable. This stance is amazing. You can go really wide, like a normal, longboard style stance, and you can bring your feet in to have like a shortboard stance as well. When I'm riding this, I prefer a longer stance. I prefer longer board. I don't like short boards as much because I feel like it's really restrictive and constraining. But with this board, I can have like a pretty wide longboard stance. And what's even better is that these two bulges for the wheels, they come up. and they come up quite aggressively. This aggressiveness will bring a little bit of discomfort if you were to be riding for a very long time. But the benefit of these concaves is you get really good control. I love the control out of this thing. I remember reviewing a lot of boards that just has like a general really flat profile with a little bit of edges coming back up. Those feel good, but man, I forgot how just absolutely responsive your board can be when you have these things that are a lot more aggressive. So yeah, there's a trade-off. It's a little bit uncomfortable after, you know, a couple miles of riding, but then you can just place your foot off of it and put it over here for more comfort. And then when you need to go more aggressive, you can just put your foot back onto this thing again. Man, you get this really good control of the deck. I just love this deck. They call it a downhill skateboarding deck. I've never done downhill before, so I don't know what it's supposed to look like or how it's supposed to feel. From what I can tell you right now is that it looks like a shortboard, but the way that you ride it, it feels like a really aggressive and responsive longboard. This looks like the A-Stack Stella S3, but it in no way feels like the A-Stack Stella S3. The amount of comfort, the amount of ability to carve, just how stable it is at speed. I really loosened up all the bushings and it still feels really comfortable when I'm carving and when I'm going straight. I think I'm going like 25 miles to 30 miles per hour on the straightaway in the stock setup, and it feels absolutely amazing. Usually what I do is after I review an electric skateboard, I would just sell it on the secondhand market. That's how I get my turnovers. I earn the money and then I go buy another board or something like that. But this is a board I will keep for sure. I love how the edge flare up and you can actually use it to get really aggressive, or you can back off a little bit to get comfortable. So the other thing I want to talk about is the remote. The remote is super well tuned. I would say this remote, unlike Hobbywing's tuning, Hobbywing's, it's very linear. So when you kind of push the remote, every little increment, you go up just that much faster. At least that's what it feels like with the Hobbywing remote. When it comes to this remote, I actually don't know what ESC this is, but the first few kind of pushes, it's not a dead zone. It's very refined tuning of your speed. So if you were to pull on the brakes, you can bleed off speed ever so slightly. You slow down very slowly. The braking curve starts off very soft for a good amount of time and then it peaks up. It's the same thing with acceleration as well. Acceleration starts off really soft and then it peaks up. So what this does is when you are traveling at very high speeds, like what I'm doing right now, you can really fine tune that speed. You can really fine tune your braking and your acceleration without fearing that you're going to kind of whiskey throttle and throw yourself off of the board. This takes a little bit getting used to, especially if you're very used to the Ling E remote or the Hobbywing remote. But once you really get used to it, the reward I think is just absolutely astounding. The amount of fine tuning, like I spent the entire afternoon on this remote. At first, when I'm trying to brake, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not braking. I feel just very little bit amount of power. But after I get used to it, when I'm going very fast, this dial is just incredible. When I need to bleed off just a little bit of speed, but not enough to throw myself off, this thing really delivers. Oh, and the other thing about this remote, I don't know if you can see it on the camera right now. What happens with this remote, it's super bright. All these stock remotes with their stock LEDs are incredibly dim, so whenever you need to read the telemetry data, you gotta go like this, right? It's really hard to see. But this telemetry data is so incredibly easy to see. Very easy to see how much energy that you're using, how much your speed is, what your battery telemetry is. Like right now, the sun, if you see the sun, right? Bright cloudless day, I have zero problem seeing this remote. This remote is absolutely gorgeously bright. Love it.